Artemis Fowl is the worst movie ever made. Don't watch it. Good night. Okay, no, seriously. Let's take a quick look at this complete fucking litter trash of a movie. Before we get started, stay till the end of the video for some updates about this channel. First, how about I try saying something positive about this pissed on and fed to consumers waste of time of a movie. It's a fantasy movie where the fantasy stuff is all science fiction-y. The fairies use a combination of technology and magic, so that mix of fantasy and science fiction is kind of interesting. The female lead doesn't make me want to start drinking. That's a plus. Spoilers, but let's be honest, you don't really care. The plot. This movie has no plot. I have no idea what's going on. It's a complete waste of time. Artemis is supposed to be a cool, know-it-all kid that was taught everything about fairies, but he just comes off as extremely punchable. I don't like this protagonist. I don't like his acting, I don't like his sociopathic tendencies, and for some reason I don't like the shape of his head either. In the technologically advanced world of the fairies and other fairy tale creatures, a MacGuffin called the Oculus Rift is stolen. The fairies try anything they can to find it. Our sociopath of a protagonist kidnaps one of the fairies. Wait a minute, are they fairies or are they elves? Whatever. The fairy named Holly Short randomly gets Stockholm Syndrome and decides to be his friend. The rest of the fairies come to rescue her and put a time-freezing bubble around Artemis Fowl's estate. It freezes all time in the estate, but for some reason does not freeze Artemis or his butler. We know that it can freeze people because it's shown previously. Also, why does the servant gotta be black? They shoot the device that deploys the time freeze, which starts a countdown until it malfunctions and implodes, or something. They make it out to be a huge deal, but the countdown ends, and literally nothing happens. The guy that is supposed to be a villain does nothing. Oh, and there's another villain in the shadow for the entire movie that does nothing. They fight a troll that looks less convincing than the one in the first Harry Potter movie. Turns out Artemis had the Oculus Rift on his estate the entire time. Holly uses the Oculus Rift to teleport Artemis' dad to them, and the movie just ends. It feels like so much has happened, and yet nothing at all has happened at the same time. How this movie pulled off a feat like that, I don't know. And I wish to go into my mind and do a little after watching this movie. Costumes. What are these costumes? Why are all the fairy elves dressed like Sam Raimi's Green Goblin? They look more like the Green Goblin than the actual goblins do in this movie. I'd rather be seen in the red BDSM outfits from Zardoz. This movie,
You're frustrating me.
that isn't even worse than the narration. This movie suffers from over-narration. It feels like every 5 minutes, Discount Jack Black is saying something instead of simply letting me watch it on the screen. Every time he pops up to narrate, I just want to say to him,
Will you shut up, man?
Listen, who is
the characters. I feel sorry for the kid playing Artemis Fowl. I'm gonna leave it at that. The butler is introduced as
10 years of martial arts training in Kyoto, 7 years of weapons training in Moscow. But call him the butler, and he'd snap you in half.
and these traits of his character are never shown. No witty banter about being called a butler, no jaw-dropping action set piece with him, nothing. Holly is okay. Like I said, she doesn't make me want to start drinking while she's on screen. Her boss, though, what is up with her voice? Did she finish 10 packs of marbles before walking on set? Is she okay? I can hardly make out what she's saying.
My name is Commander Root. Cover the Oculus. You're 84. You're making a mistake, Gudgeon. I'm married, and I used to be a smoker.
Editing and action. This movie has a few weird editing quirks. Like this short clip here. Is this supposed to be slow motion? It looks odd. The action sequences in this movie are a bore. Like this one after they shoot the time device. The entire thing feels like visual noise, and I've been more engrossed by static on the TV screen. The conclusion. This movie is a waste of time that feels like it hasn't gone anywhere in its barely a feature-length film, hour and 30 minutes runtime. A spy-ish thriller with sci-fi fairies is a neat idea that probably only exists in this because it's based on a book. The troubled production this movie had does not excuse this dumpster fire. Try again with better writers, actors, everything. I am so close to reaching 100 subscribers. So subscribe and leave a comment about what you want me to make as a 100 subscriber special. I might already have reached 100 subscribers between the recording of this video and its release. If that is the case, still comment on what you'd like to see as a special. We will celebrate it on my next video. Also, leave a comment about how terrible this movie is if you had the misfortune of seeing it. Something, something, something. Drink some water, all that jazz. Have a good one.